We're live. Welcome to Protea Live. My name is Zane Stevens. I'm the founder of Protea Financial. Episode 2. I feel like season 3 started off well. I was really happy with what we discussed about. I love that I've got a plan to go ahead with it. And today I'm pretty excited. Today we're going to talk about why wine. So if you've been around, you'll know that I'm the wine accountant. Protea Financial focuses in on the wine industry, specifically smaller family owned wineries. So, a bit of context, what I mean there is in the United States, there are roughly 11,500 wineries the last I checked. Could be bigger, maybe a little smaller, who knows? It's an interesting and tough market that everybody's operating in at the moment. Of those 11,500 wineries, there's about 10,500 wineries that produce less than 10,000 cases of wine per year. That is our target market. Wineries that produce less than 10,000 cases of wine. Now, we do help other wineries. We've got a group winery that we look after that does over 300,000 cases. We've got some 15,000 case wineries. We can help other people. But generally speaking, our sweet spot is less than 10,000. And since 2020, once people got a bit more used to the digital, we've seen a lot of growth in what we see as family owned, closely held, spouses, siblings, full family, even close friend wineries producing between 1,500 and 4,500 cases. Generally, those clients need us to do a lot for them in terms of the whole process from source document through to management reporting, probably a little bit of compliance reporting, and definitely need help with inventory management, so the reconciliation of the inventory, what they think they have versus what they actually have, as well as the inventory costing. So that is a sweet spot for us. Generally, those clients are billed about 30 hours a month. We have found what we call a niche in the wine industry. And really today, what I do want to focus on is why niche? And if we go back in history, when Protea was first founded, we did not niche. We did have a lot of clients in the winery space because that's where we started. I was initially in a winery consulting and investment company, and we needed to solve our own problem. Thus, Protea Financial was found. So the vast majority of our clients were in the wine space, but we had a beauty product, we had a music festival, we had an attorney, we have a bike manufacturer. We've got all these little sort of what we would assume you would see in a generalist type bookkeeping firm. Over time, we've noticed that the less we had to focus on the industry specific and focus in tightly on just the wine industry, we found that it made our lives a little bit simpler. And you'll ask, why did that make simpler? Well, the main thing is that we only had to talk one language. We could alter our internal conversations, our team conversation, our client conversations, and our training all to be about the wine industry. So it allowed us to simplify our communication by only focusing on the wine space and thus improve communication as well as improve processes. Additionally, when I went out to people looking for clients, I inevitably got the question, how many winery clients do you have? And I'd give them a number, and then they'd be like, and how many other clients do you have? And if I gave them that number and they felt like it was too many, they're like, well, you're not really a specialist in the space. We're looking for a specialist. So from a brand recognition and a marketing standpoint, it also made a lot of sense. So communication made sense. Internal processes make sense. The external communication to the people we rely on to help us get referrals and the people who are actually buying the services became easier. So for all those factors, it simplified my job. It simplified our daily processes. It simplified for the team, and it made it easier to explain to the outside world. For me, niching made a lot of sense. It allowed us to streamline, be a lot more focused, as well as gave us the opportunity to show off our expertise. We're able to talk the language, have conversations with the proprietors, and conversations in their own language. So, a lot of people are like, oh, tell me about the revenue. Like, what sort of revenue do the clients you do? And I go, well, we don't really talk about revenue, right? Everybody knows their revenue in the wine industry, but most of the time we're talking about cases produced. And why is that? Well, you can go to a store right now and you'll see that there's different price points, right? There'll be bottles of $10, $15, $20, and up. So if I have two wine producers of 4,500 cases, and the one is selling that wine at $15 a bottle, and the other one is selling at $45 a bottle, just because the one has more revenue doesn't necessarily mean it has more work. So in our space, talking about revenue is important, but from a context standpoint is irrelevant. Cases produced and cases sold is much more important. So it allowed us to have those conversations. Additionally, one of the things that we've seen that a lot of the wine industry struggle with is inventory costing. So inventory costing is a complicated process in the wine industry because it takes a year to grow the grapes. You've got to press, ferment, age, and also your inventory cycles could be a really long time. So just being able to understand their process takes expertise, but then to be able to successfully cost, which means asking the right questions and getting the information you need, is a skill set as well. And because of our expertise in the wine space, we've been able to develop good processes, not just about the costing itself, but the questions we ask to make sure that we're getting the good information to be able to do the costing. To a point where I would say we are the best in the space at winery inventory costing. And I feel pretty good about that because we've been brought in on multiple projects just to help people cost their inventory. We do that. It is an expertise within the space that we have that we can see as a selling point on why people should use us, especially wineries. I'm a big believer in niching. I think there's a lot of opportunities. Though I do say I've got nothing against generalist firms. One of my biggest partners that I refer a ton of work to is a generalist bookkeeping and accounting firm. I love having them as a resource because I know they do really good work. And because they do really good work, I confidently refer them work of people that have reached out to me. And I do that regularly. I also niche on a different scale as well. As a firm, we do not focus in on what is traditionally seen as the CFO level services. I've never been a CFO in a big company. I don't really want to take on the risk of the CFO. I don't really have time for that type of work either. So we niche down and very specifically, we focus on source document to management reporting with short-term budgeting and forecasting. If you're looking for somebody to help you make strategic decisions, we are not that person. So I'm niching also on services, not just industry. And if somebody does need that strategic partner to help them make decisions, I have multiple people that I'm more than happy to refer you to, and I know they'll do a good job and they'll help you in the right way. I am not going to oversell you services. I'm going to rather undersell, over-deliver, and make sure that you're happy. I'll leave that CFO strategic type work to the people who want to do CFO strategic type work. Niching is an interesting space. It's not just understanding who your target market is, but it's understanding what you want to do for those people. I've discussed a little bit today just the way I sort of see this. I feel pretty strongly that this is a good way to go. And I never always felt that way, but I've seen the benefits of it myself. It's made my life easier because I've been able to, deal with less complication in my life. I'm able to create a single story that works for any person that I'm willing to talk to about potential services. I don't want to say willing to talk to me is probably the right way to put it. I'm able to create processes with my team internally that will work on multiple clients and then can be adjusted for their specifics. It allows us to set training in a generalized fashion that will give people enough information to be successful and adjust for their project. And when I'm talking to people, it gives me the upper hand because I actually understand what they're talking about. And I think that is really, really important. Niching has made my life a lot easier. I really believe in niching in a service industry, especially the accounting space. There are a lot of benefits. I have seen them firsthand. I have felt them firsthand. But if I had to sort of bring it down to the top five, my top five benefits of niching would be number one is marketing focus. It's a lot easier if you know who you're selling to and you can alter your message to it. It allows you to talk the right language to the right people to allow people to understand that you're there for them and you're there to support them and you believe in their industry. Number two, I believe niching creates a strong brand. As I've spoken about, it allows you to talk the language. It allows you to be able to be seen as an expert in that space. It creates brand recognition within the industry that you know what you're doing and they can speak to their peers and friends and get a reference from them to say, hey, yeah, I've worked with Protea. They're fantastic. That is great for brand building. I think niching gives you better opportunity to show your expertise. We're in the wine space. We are very good at getting your information from your source document to reporting and making sure your compliance is done. On top of that, we are very good at inventory costing. We can stand proud about it and we can show you that expertise and give you immediate success value add because we know what we're talking about. Probably one of the biggest ones, and I'm going to put this at number 4 today, is process improvement. There is nothing better as a firm if you can go in and standardize procedures. Yes, every client is going to need some adjustments, but if the general template looks and feels the same, it allows for easier cross-training. If people leave the company, it's a lot easier for somebody else to step in and help. The standardization of processes will change your life. Rather than having to create a new template every time you arrive at a client, you're able to walk in, these are the processes that we do, we'll adjust it for your specifics, and we'll move forward. The improvement and the efficiency around operations is so huge. It will save you so much time. And final part, like just from a scalability standpoint, I spoke about simplifying your marketing, building a stronger brand, building your expertise, minimizing and making your internal operations much more efficient. Those first 4 things leading to number 5, which will, if you niche, it's a little bit easier to scale because you know what you're doing, how to do it, how to have the conversation, how to move forward. It'll improve your process of onboarding and getting to the point where clients are satisfied a lot quicker. By niching, it'll give you the opportunity to grow your business a lot quicker. I am a big believer in niching. I think there's a lot of value for every service business, especially the accounting service businesses, to niche, to improve their processes, build a better brand, market more efficiently, simplify internally, and just grow and have success. At Protea, we have niched in the wine space. I love working with smaller wineries and helping them get the information that they need to be able to run their business better. We're able to be there when they need us, help them get the information they need to be successful, and help them grow and be more sustainable. I have found a lot of success in niching, and I do believe you could as well. It might not be for everybody, but it's at least worth considering. Thank you for joining me on Protea Live. Till next time.